Hello, my name is Randy Johnson. I want to tell you a story about a deer I call Ice T. My wife, she is from Oklahoma. She wanted to have an Indian name, so she calls them Crazy Horns. She's a redhead. She's about half crazy, so I guess we'll call them Crazy Horns just to keep her happy. But the story of Crazy Horns started a couple weeks ago. Youth Weekend in Texas is the last weekend in October, the 26th and 27th this year. My son took him out a half a day of school. We drove out and got in early on Friday. Went and checked all my game cams, sitting in the cabin looking at them, and had this dude on one of the pictures. Pulled that card out, looked at another one, had him at a different stand. We opted for the second place that we had seen him. Pictures of him. Thought it'd be a better location, a little less traffic. Saturday morning rolls around, nothing. Just a couple of does, small bucks. About 10 o'clock, we're getting ready to get out of the stand, go have some biscuits and gravy, and look out our right window just as we're getting ready to climb down, and here this guy comes. He kind of got spooked, turned around, and started going the other way. I started bleating at him, got him to stop. My son, all he had was a neck shot. You couldn't see anything but his neck and his massive rack he's got. We've got broomweed out there that's about waist to chest high in places, and he was standing right in the middle of it. But I'm very confident in my son's shooting ability. He shoots regularly. So I said, let's get over here and let's give it a shot. He lined up, pulled the trigger. Deer jumped like he was hit. As a matter of fact, he's got a scar on the back of his neck about an inch lower, and he'll be the one telling you this story, not me. But we looked all Saturday afternoon, all day Sunday afternoon. No sign of the deer, no buzzards, no blood, nothing. So I was just praying, hoping that he was still alive. He was out of school on Monday. Monday before we got ready to leave, I went and thought, we'll check the cameras one more time just before we leave, maybe a little peace of mind. And had one more picture of him. He was still up and doing good. So I drove home 8 hours, dropped him off, washed my clothes, got in the truck, headed straight back out there. Got out there about noonish and snuck in while the deer were bedded down. Built me a brush blind. Spent the rest of the week bow hunting him. No signs of him. That Saturday was opening weekend of gun season here in Texas, and my wife was coming in, and one of my older sons was coming in. We hunted him all weekend. No sign of him. And one of the stands that he was coming to a couple different stands. I'd be in one stand and he'd come to the other. I'd go to the other stand where I seen him last. He'd show up the other one. So I was kind of playing tag with him, and I thought, I need to get him before the rut gets heavy. It was just kind of getting started, just a little chasing going on. So I put my wife in one of the stands and I got in the other one. Anyway, while I was tag teaming this dude with my wife, I ran across a really nice 8-pointer, and he was really tempting me, and I didn't want to shoot him and risk scaring him off. I kept seeing him. I'm like, I want to shoot this dude. So I resisted the urge and got my wife in the stand with me. And the plan was we were going to watch. If the 8-pointer showed up, we were going to take him out, but we were going to wait till like the last minute of shooting hours. Hoping that this guy has strange hours. He comes in 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't have your normal hours of your regular deer. So the 8-point shows up, and this is the clip of my wife taking the 8-point.
Alright, so it's another year for Big Ridge Productions. It's the first time Randy and I have been in the deer stand since last season. Together, anyway.
We're taking out a big 8-pointer tonight, or what we call Ice T. Whichever one shows up first.
I don't call him Ice T, I call him Crazy Horns.
Well, I call him Ice T.
I gave him an Indian name, Crazy Horns.
hunted all weekend, no sign of crazy horns. And Tuesday rolls around, it's time to go vote here in Texas. And my wife's been out there about 4 days. That's about as long as she can stand, being away from the kids, the younger kids that we have still at home. So we packed up, drove home, got in on Tuesday, voted. Wednesday went to church, got my clothes washed. And after church, I jumped in the truck, drove 8 hours back out to the deer lease. And it was perfect day. When we got out there, about 3 o'clock in the morning, it was 70 degrees still. There was a cold front coming in, it was raining. So my intentions or thinking was, as soon as this weather clears out, something's going to happen. So this was Thursday. And sure enough, about 3:30, 4 o'clock, wind died down a little bit, probably getting close to 30 degrees. Rain stopped, just a light drizzle. And about 4 o'clock, 4:05, I look out my left window, here he comes. I managed to keep my composure long enough to get my video camera turned on. I followed him to my deer feeder, and as soon as he was in front of my feeder, I picked my gun up and just waited for him to give me some vitals to shoot at, and that's it. Here he is. So we're almost to the end of this, and I wanted to share with y'all the rest of the story. So this buck had him rough scored 271 inches. Wasn't an official score, just kind of a rough score. My wife, right after I harvested him, she's like, "I'm so excited! I'm so excited! Can I post it? Can I post it on Facebook?" I said, "Just wait a little bit. Let me get everything done, get him clean, get everything taken care of." And I sent her a text and said, "All right, you can post him now." So she did, and wasn't just a few minutes after she posted, my phone started going just absolutely nuts with text messages and phone calls. And over the rest of the weekend, it got so bad I had to just put my phone up. So it was kind of wild. But anyway, one of the local game wardens here where I live seen a picture of the deer. He contacted the Texas Parks and Wildlife biologist in the town where we were hunting, and he made contact with me, and we met up, and he checked him out, and anyway, he said it's a great deer, probably record buck, possibly, but he got to looking at him. He's got a scar in his ear where somebody had a tag in his ear one time. He's got a tattoo in his ear. Long story short, he escaped from prison from somewhere. Don't know how long he was out, where he came from, or anything like that. But it makes him ineligible for Boone and Crockett and the Texas Big Game Awards, which, you know, I will have to admit, when he told me that, I was pretty heartbroken. Waited my whole life for this. I've shot hundreds of deer, and I've hunted. I mean, that's just what we do. We hunt. So I have to admit, I was disappointed, just a little bit. But you know, that's not really what's important in life. Fame and seeking fame and chasing the carrot and the fortune that can come with that, and you know, the recognition and stuff like that. That's it don't matter when you're no longer on this earth. So what's important in life is, even though he's not eligible for the record books, is having your name written in the book. And the book I'm referring to is the one in Revelations. It's what God calls the book of life. Reference to it is Revelations 20:12, 20:15, and Revelations 3:5. Revelations 3:20:12 says, "And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne. The books were open. Another book was open, which was the book of life. The dead were judged according to what they had done as recorded in the books." Verse 15, "Anyone whose name was not found written in the book of life was thrown into the lake of fire." Chapter 3, verse 5 says, "The one who is victorious will, like them, be dressed in white. I will never blot out the name of that person from the book of life, but will acknowledge that name before my Father and his angels." No crazy horns here. He's got scars in his ears. He's got a tattoo. He's even got a scar on the back of his neck where my son shot him. You know, he's kind of like us. We've all got scars. We've got tattoos, or I do. We've got things in life that, you know, people look at and say, hey, you know, you're not eligible. You're not worthy. Well, God doesn't see us that way. God doesn't judge us based on that. You know, if we accept Christ as our Savior and live accordingly to His Word, our name can be written in that book of life, and it'll never be blotted out. You know, that's really what's important. I teach my kids, all 7 of them, we've taught them how to hunt, how to work hard, how to respect the animals, how to respect other people. Most importantly, we do our best, my wife and I, to make sure that they not only know about God, but know God and have a relationship with Him. And to me, that is more important than any record book, any Boone and Crockett, my name beside this big deer that I killed. That's irrelevant. When I'm dead and gone, nobody's going to care. But one thing I do know, my name, Randy Johnson, is written in that book of life. So that's really what's important. Chasing the carrot, you know, we all do it. Just the way we live here in America. But you know, slow down and enjoy life. Teach your kids about God, and that's what's important. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching. Join us on our next episode of Big Ridge Productions. Hope to have more coming soon. Thank you.